Running through tall grasses with dappled light made me hunted. The height of the stems made me a child, and the edges of my vision reddening as sunbeams flickered through the skin around my eyes made me feel translucent. Emotional intensity smothered any physical feelings as my long shadow skimmed the blades and gave chase to me in the bright, dry undergrowth. A beast was behind me and chased me to the end of the earth, and indeed the world did change after a moment. My late grandfather's street, he knew so many of his neighbours. Their door was always open. The importance of the end is that it allows us to begin the dissolution back into everything. To emerge from dreams with a sense of clarity and remembrance, an intimate playground of waking desires, fears, absurdities, and intense personal emotion. With this symbolic phase, we wield a powerful act, and it allows us to celebrate the closure of the experience while leading us into the next story or into the tone of our alarm. Now, I want you to think back to the beginning of today's conference, when we discussed and worked as a group to create title cards. At the genesis of our dreams, title cards hand us the power to know and accept the forthcoming narrative, involving a delicate juggle of intentionality and subconscious cooperation. Since we've already discussed the ways in which we may embed these into our sleep, we can apply exactly the same technique to the end card, incorporating it into our daily mantras, routines, and waking thoughts. It allows us to experience a night's sleep as one might experience chapters of a book or a series of short stories, and creates a contents page of reference for us to document and learn from throughout our day. Now, can we all remember our title card mantra?
As I drift sleepily into conscious thought, dreams shall be titled as I was taught. The mystic appearance of these words allows unfolding stories to emerge.
Very good. And so here is an example of what might be our mantra for the end. As the final frame bends behind my eyes, a graceful conclusion makes me wise, a clear prompt for me to recognize a chaptered parable in disguise. So I welcome the subtle cues of closure, although sleep indeed has its allure, the subconscious's ultimate exposure, the card which reads, "The end is sure."
Creak, creak, creak. Well, firstly I wanted to acknowledge this amazing turnout. 10 times the crowd of last year. It's fantastic seeing all your beaming faces, especially with you lot with it and fits. Now, behold the fruits of our love and labour and our latex moulds. Just like the man crawling like a dog under a blanket on a dark night. Soon, all that is inside will be revealed. Let's just hope we don't get any more frights, my lovely spectators. Actually, speaking of fright and speaking of dreams, I had the most restless night's sleep last night. I too dreamt myself a child, and after sculpting the most perfect creation in a group of peers, I realised I had the wrong name tag in front of me, next to my work. And, indeed, someone else had my own, and they accepted the award that was supposed to be mine. Upon announcement, but they seemed so much older than me. They were wrinkled and most frail, spoke of plastic cabbages in the thinning carpet of the very room where we sat, and they had to know of the judge's mistake. Surely they knew. Now, if only I could remember my beautiful creation, then we really would be onto a winner. All I remember is a shifting and distorting, a feeling of loss, home, confusion, nothing looking the same, but the word, feeling like that. I feel that bedroom. Anyway, back to the competition. For those of you who are new here, as I expect many of you are, the rules are as follows. Each year we take our own speciality fruit or vegetable and create something beautiful from it, using a mould which will shape the produce into what will hopefully become the winner. To win, you must have filled out and handed in your subscription slip, and your work must not have an exposed belly, which means no breaks or innards on show. It must be.
How is it today? You know, the polemologist. He's never missed a year yet.
I heard he's going downhill.
Extending his pasture.
You could call it that, but no, he's not being himself.
Now, let the demoulding commence.
I heard in December he sowed his best April seeds. Beetroot, marrow, squash. They froze to death, of course.
It's a wonder he didn't meet the same fate himself, turning the solid soil all alone in the pastures.
Well, it seems he doesn't think he's alone though, does he?
He doesn't.
No, I've heard he thinks she's still there with him. Apparently, next door caught him chattering away to the competition flyer last week.
The flyer? What flyer?
Feels like her, I suppose. Think he sees her face in the wrinkled fruit. Somewhere in his brain, the two must have mushed up together.
Well folks, it's time to judge. I better let the director take the stage.
As the year begins to unfold, it's time to start taking charge of your life story. How can you benefit from curating and creating experiences? Stop wasting away living inside a life you want to escape from and build one you don't need a break from. Today I'm here to share all the details on how to make lasting memories every single day and live unforgettably. So, picture this. You're a director of your own business, reaping all the benefits of being an experienced experiencer, and you're watching as your newest team member lights up telling you all about a memory they just made happen for someone. Their client's dream was to have an evening in the grasslands, listening to music with their beloved, watching the stars from their deck chairs, before spending a night tucked up in a custom version of their old barn house. Well, this is something that happened for me just last week. As team director, I earned 80% commission on this sale, all whilst being out making my own lasting memories. And I will tell you all what I told her. Someday, this.
I was listening to a talk on the radio the other day. It was all about different theories around, the way we experience the world. And well, it got me thinking. The man who called in, he was talking about time as a test made by the devil. The idea that everything really exists all at once, at the same time. Afterwards, it played a song that reminded me of when I lived in a big house with friends who sat on high windowsills and played instruments on long, sunny afternoons. And as I felt that deep wrench of yearning tugging at the inside of my chest, you were one of the most tangible and immediate feelings you can feel. It got me thinking, silly really, but maybe hearing music, smelling a smell, or finding something you lost act like magnets, and those points in time pull together and rip the walls. Just for a second, and you get to experience that infinite moment. Well, maybe that's what happens for him now. Every day he can just pull away less and less.
Continuing on, here is a selection of some of the wonderful memories we have built for people at Make Lasting Memories over the last 2 years.
I suppose dreams, they let you wonder how every night you can be tricked into thinking that those worlds in your mind are the real ones, and that in turn makes you wonder if we're being tricked right now. In fact, where is that music coming from?
So, as you can see...
Alrighty folks, I've reached my decision after inspecting each and every grow submitted in today's show, from pumpkins to lemons, apples to courgettes, beetroots to parsnips. I'm ready to announce the winner. The star of today's show is...
Conscious ultimate exposure. The card victory rings, the end is sure.
The submission slip reads, name, the pomologist. Entry title and description. I made a hot drink this morning, but it went cold after a few small sips. I reheated it twice in the microwave, but perhaps it had gotten that funny fuzzy taste by then, so she left it on the side table. As the light moved across the room and settled in a new patch, I noticed something small and green growing in the middle of the wall. I scratched it off with my nails, but as some more time passed, it came back, this time with buds and leaves, and I could only marvel at the speed at which the plant pushed itself out of the wall, which seemingly had no cracks or gaps. As the leaves grew and became more refined, I became increasingly aware of their striking resemblance to the raspberry plants illustrated on the wallpaper pasted across the room. It wasn't long before beautiful pods of pink-coloured sacks started to form and dangle from under the reaching branch and dance in the low sunlight. I tried to tell her about the tree, but she didn't even turn to see the plant as it curved over her head and brushed her soft grey curls with its green tips. As the sun settled on its peak this afternoon, I watched as she plucked the ripe berry hanging just above her mouth with her tissue paper lips and relaxed back into the cushion of her chair. She swallowed it down, and as she opened her mouth to speak, the world cut out and the black screen read, "The end."
So I welcome the subtle clues of closure. Although sleep indeed has its allure, the subconscious ultimate exposure.
The card which rearranges the end is sure.